And then I got on the train, and then Parker Posey was in the next car over. And then she
Mm.
waved at me from the next car, and then she came into this car. I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
I'm in here."
This is not an interview. There is no format. This is simply a conversation about life.
I don't know if you've ever done this before. Sometimes I see someone on TV or in a movie or something, right? And then I go to their Wikipedia and I look them up and see if they're married or not to see if I actually have a chance.
I love it.
It's like,
You gotta dream big, Hollis.
yeah,
I love it.
exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's a good confidence swag.
So I mean, the thing is I have actually come in contact with there was an actress that I literally remember saying to myself that if I ever meet this girl, you know,
Hmm.
I gotta, and I did meet her. Like
You did. And
I
did it play out as you
no,
envisioned?
no, and I have no excuse. I don't know. There was like some, I can't think of the name of this club, but there was some club like in maybe the art museum area, and it was in the art museum area, and it was next to it was like kind of a speakeasy thing. They were definitely not, they were open past when they were open, and it was even really
Yeah.
close to a police station, but somehow everything was still working or whatever. And I have no excuse because she it was like I happened to be standing out front, nobody was around, and then she came out of the club. Like I hadn't gone in yet. She came out the door, and it was just the two of us outside.
Oh,
And I could
and
not.
you got scared.
I got scared. I couldn't get a word to come out of my mouth. I couldn't get
I
a
can
word.
say that.
Yeah,
Well, because I think you think it's one way, and like in our heads, they're just normal people.
yeah,
But when you see them in person, I don't know. It's
yeah,
either like your own butterflies or they kind of have that charisma or something that's like a little bit more intimidating
yeah.
when you're there.
Well, she
I rode
was.
up with,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Ladies first.
No, I rode up an elevator or down the elevator with Robert Plant, just him
Mm,
and I.
mm,
And I did spark up a conversation, but
right.
not trying to get with him, but just
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Holy shit, you are a legend, Led Zeppelin.
Right. 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 Right.
This is insane. Like I have to say something."
Right. Right. Yeah.
But yeah, but I tried to play it cool too. I was like not trying to even let him know I knew who he was.
Right. So,
But
what you mean? You talk to him about normal, like, hey man, like, how's the weather? Like,
kind of, yeah, because I was actually all we were in Nashville, and we were supposed to have an event at the Grand Ole Opry. So
mm,
it was like a themed event. So I'm literally wearing like cowgirl attire.
mm-hmm,
So I've got like this huge hat on, like, the flannel shirt,
mm.
huge belt buckle. And I just said, I don't normally dress like this. And I mean, he was really sweet and cute. And like, and then he was like, oh yeah, what are you doing? And I
Hmm.
told him about the Opry, and he was like talking about how it's not the same.
Yeah,
Like it was kind of nice to just have a normal exchange because I'm sure for them, I don't know. I always think like I would love money, but not fame. Like
yeah,
I would not to be famous
mm,
just because you can't have a normal day.
yeah,
Like all those just being like anonymous.
yeah,
Plus I'm an introvert anyway, so that would just be like
yeah. Yeah. I definitely. I mean, just on a certain level, I've experienced enough of it. Just on my like, you
ah,
know. So I get it. I also did well. We never talked about this. Do you know who Parker Posey is?
yeah.
I was on the train in New York with Parker Posey. Like she sat down next to me on the train,
Yeah.
and I was like thinking to myself, "Oh shit, this is Parker Posey." Like I don't know what to say or whatever.
Like,
And then when I finally got myself together to say something to her, this old Asian lady came and sat down in between us on the on the on the on the seats or whatever. And but I was like, no, I'm still going to talk to her. So I'm like leaning over the Asian lady. Excuse me, are you Parker Posey? You know what I mean? And she was like, yeah, that's me. And then I was like, well, I'm a big fan, and of course, I'm all in the house. No, I said I just left it at I'm a big fan. It's awesome to see you here or whatever. And then I was like, thought that was the end of it, right? And then she leaned over and she was like, oh, so what do you do? And then
oh, okay.
I
Okay.
was
See,
like, oh snap! I was like, I might be in there. I might be in there. Hold on,
there's a chance.
I might be. I might have a chance. And and I was like, oh, I'm a DJ and producer, or whatever. I make house music, and I was like, and so one of my favorite movies of yours is Party Girl because you got all the classics in there and everything like that. And so we talked about house music for a minute, and and so it was cool, like the talking over the Asian lady, or whatever. So then we both got to the stop, and then we got off at the same stop, right?
She
And
was stalking you.
you know, and so we went in different directions, and I went to get to the transfer to another train or whatever. And then I got on the train, and then Parker Posey was in the next car over. And then she
Mm.
waved at me from the next car, and then she came into this car. I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
I'm in here. Like, yo, it's
yeah.
about to go down." But
Like
then,
you better give her the number,
but
like we
then,
did back in the day.
you know, yeah, because
What happened?
there was no smartphones at this time. I think I had to flip.
You're like, here's my pager number.
And she came into the car, and then she just said, waved to me again, and then just kept walking down. And I think, and that was the end of it. But
That was a test. You failed.
I failed. Yeah, this is, she was like, "Hey, do you have
She
the?"
was like, I'm gonna do a stroll by and
Yeah,
see if he picks up the bait.
yeah. See,
An actress would make sense for you, like especially with what you do and